Hey everyone, I'm sewing the flat plate rigging for my custom saddle. I just want to point out a few things, how I prepare my leather and how I sew with sewing machine that I have here. This is Artisan heavy duty sewing machine. I have it for over 70 years now. It's an excellent machine, never had any problems with it. And here you can see, uh, obviously always gauge a channel so the stitches are protected. As you can see the holes, I ran the stitch line without a thread. So on the bottom I see where the needle comes out, and on these flat plates, because it's a very important piece and there's a lot of abrasion against the skirt, I gauge the channel on the bottom as well. So it's a little bit extra step. I do it always on flat plates, so make them a little bit stronger. And as you can see, my liner is not flush. It's cut oversized, and it's very important when sewing with the machine, because otherwise, what can happen? It can tilt the leather. The mechanism that feeds the leather, it pushes it through, and it can tilt it to the side, and the needle can actually run at an angle, not straight down, and it can even get out of the leather at the side, at the edge, which I don't want to happen. So this longer liner will help to keep the leather straight when I'm sewing. So what I have here is it's a polyester thread number 346 on the top and on the bottom. Usually I step down one size with 277 on lighter items, but for flat plates it's a thick leather. I go 346 top and bottom, and I do number 230 or 26 needle, and I put a new needle. This morning I was doing just a pair of skirts, and one needle will last about 7 hours of working, sometimes less depending of the type of the leather. So you always have to kind of feel the tip. It has to be nice and sharp. There should be no metal defections on the needle, because what that can happen, it can mess up the thread in the middle of the hole. So I did a run test with a scrap of leather at same thickness as here, just to see my stitch length the way I want. I like to have about 7 stitches per inch, six and a half, 7 stitches per inch, and I want to make sure that my knots that the machine makes inside the leather, they are exactly in the center. So I stitch similar to pieces of leather, then I cut them and I observe where the knot is made, and if the knot is too much, even if it's visible on top, it means the top thread tension is too high. I need to decrease it. But tension is perfect. I lift my foot. The other thing is very important, to have the leather dry. If the leather is not completely dry, then this foot, even though I polished it and I customized, I rounded the corners, it will leave a mark which will be dark. It will be similar to your tooling. It leaves a dark, burnished impression on the stitch line, which will be almost impossible to get rid of, especially on natural leather. This one will be dark brown, but still, I always leave after tooling at least one full day until it's fully dry, and then I do my sewing. Or sometimes I do when it's wet, but really wet, and it will leave an impression, but I can smooth it out. But this leather is dry. I installed my rigging yesterday, put my copper rivets, I polished as well. I burnished part of the rigging here where the metal is going, so it will be difficult to do it afterwards. So let's get started. I have plenty of thread sticking out. I check if I've been out with the bottom thread. There's plenty. I have these parts already done, and I just do the front and the top. I have to do. So I like to backstitch about three stitches. So I go on hole number 4 and go towards the end. I have my reverse gear, and I like to go slow. First, I need to fit into the channel, but the second, I need to match into the holes that I already made. If I was sewing just straight without holes, I would go faster. Now I can go a little bit faster. Sorry for blocking the view just for a second. Reverse gear, and back up to 3 stitches again. Pull it up. That's my thread. And now what I do, you can see here, the knot on the last stitch, as I was pulling out, it went towards the bottom. So I pulled my top thread a little bit, making sure that the knot stays in the center, and then pull my both threads, get nice and tight, cut it off, and then I'm gonna burn down my thread. I do the same in at the bottom. You can see here that the knot was pulled down on my last stitch. Cut it off. I'm gonna burn it down all at once, all the thread. So that's the sewing sequence on flat plate rigging, and some of the preparation to make it longer lasting, better looking, have nice even stitch, and nice and tight. I like to tighten my bottom thread as much as I can without having any problems, and then I adjust the top thread so my knot is in the center, and that way it will be super tight stitch. Because if my bottom thread is loose, I have to loosen my top thread as well, and I don't want to have a loose stitch. So when you're pulling, it has to go. It has to give. It has some resistance, but it goes freely, and that's what I want. So thanks for watching. Have a good day.